Hi, this is Chris from theinkslinger.co.uk, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how you can install a local version of WordPress onto your Mac. Now this is a great idea if you're going to be doing any work on a WordPress site, because any changes you make obviously just go live instantly if you're working with the online version of the site, and that includes if you happen to break anything, which I have done before, and it's not fun when your whole site goes down. Traditionally you've got two options. You can either download a plugin that will put your site into maintenance mode, but it basically stops people from looking at your site, or you can go through the steps that I'm going to go through here today and install this local version, as I say. And when you've finished working on that, you can upload that version of the website straight into your web host. So first thing we're going to do is a little bit of downloading. Now we're going to need this piece of software called MAMP, and MAMP actually stands for Mac, Apache, MySQL and PHP. You'll see on a screen here there is a version of MAMP for Windows. I'm not going to cover Windows in this tutorial, but whilst there's lots of software out there, MAMP is certainly the one that does the job. So if you're running on the Windows experience, go ahead and grab MAMP for Windows. So what we're going to need to do is go to www.mamp.info. When we're on there, we need to click on the Downloads tab, and Downloads for Mac OS 10. We download that. It's a fairly hefty file, and my download speeds aren't great, so I've already downloaded that. What we're also going to do is go to wordpress.org, and on the front page there we actually get a button here to download WordPress, and at the time of recording this video the most up-to-date version of WordPress is 4.1. So go ahead and click that button, and we get another screen here, and we want to download as a zip file. It's only 6 megs, and again, download WordPress 4.1. So first thing we're going to need to do is get MAMP installing. Okay, so just open the package file and we'll go through the process here. Now notice it says the installer installs two folders, MAMP and MAMP Pro. And essentially that's just because the people who make MAMP really want you to buy their professional version of MAMP. To be perfectly honest, the free version is pretty good, and I personally haven't seen any reason to even try MAMP Pro, but it will install it, and later we'll see that it does try and prompt you to use it all the time. If you're not really sure what MAMP is doing, it essentially, when we're running it, it will run a local based server on your Mac, and that kind of fools any website, I guess, into thinking that we are actually live online. And it's required for any websites that use scripting languages such as PHP, for example, which WordPress does. So that's installed. We're going to close that, and first thing we're going to do is run MAMP. Notice here we've got MAMP and MAMP Pro and SQL Pro have all been installed. So here we go, first attempt, or second attempt I guess, at trying to get us to use MAMP Pro. Let's just uncheck that box and launch MAMP. We don't need MAMP Pro. Now we're going to go and change a couple of the preferences. If your version of MAMP is any different to mine, if you're looking at this website a little while, if you're looking at this video a little while after I've made it, I'm sure the majority of these steps will still work. We want to click on the Preferences button here. I personally think it's an idea to start the servers when we start MAMP. And I want to hop over here to the Web Server tab. And here we want to change the document root. You don't have to, of course. This is essentially where we're going to store our local websites to work on. And you might be perfectly happy with the default, which is in the Macintosh hard drive, Applications, MAMP, and this folder called htdocs. Personally, I actually keep mine in cloud storage so that I can work on my WordPress sites across a couple of different sites. So we're going to click on this icon here, select a new document root. So I'm using copy and coding, folder called MAMP, and then I've got a folder here called htdocs, which I'm going to select. So now I've just told MAMP to use this as its local server directory. Now that that's all done, we can go ahead and start the servers. Notice there's two servers. We've got an Apache server and a MySQL server. When we start the servers, it should launch your browser. There we go. So it's gone straight into the browser. And here we go. We get this default page tells us that MAMP has been installed successfully. Now, what we do want to do is we'll come back to this. Let's just swipe back out. So MAMP will just sort of churn away in the background here. Now, what I'd like you to do is to navigate to the document, or to the folder, sorry, where you're using your local server. Now, if you're only going to be working on one website, then you can just do everything within the root of htdocs. Personally, I run a couple of different websites through MAMP, some WordPress and some hand-coded. So I like to create a new folder for each website. So I'm going to create a new folder, and we'll call it example. And in this folder, I'm actually going to put everything from the folder that I downloaded, or rather the zip file, I guess, looks like I've unzipped it, from the zip file that I downloaded from the WordPress website. So I'm going to take all of these files, don't worry too much about what these are, and I'm going to copy them into this folder example, okay, in my local host folder. So let's go back over to my MAMP page. I'm on my local server. You can tell that because the address in the address bar is localhost:8888 / a bunch of other stuff. So I want you to go on the menu bar, not to PHP info, click on tools, and we're going to go to PHP MyAdmin. And what we need to do is we just need to create a new MySQL database for the WordPress site that we're going to be using. Okay, and it's really important to remember what we're going to call this database. I'm just going to call it example again. Leave this, collation, click create. Okay, now that's done. Great. So what we need to do now within the web browser is navigate to that folder on the local host. If you have just put the folder, if you've just put the WordPress files in your root localhost, you can just type in localhost:8888. Now, I actually, as you can see, because I run several things off here, I've just got a very basic front-end website for me to navigate around my files, but I haven't done one for this particular folder. So I'm going to go /example. And notice how we launch straight into the WordPress setup. That's great. I can change my language to English UK. Don't think it makes that much difference. Now we're going to go through the famous WordPress 5-minute installation. So we're going to need to know the database name. That's the one we just created. Database username and password, I'll explain in a second. Host and table prefix, don't worry about that. We're going to go, let's go. So the database name, we just called it example. I did anyway. You might have chosen a different name, and I hope you did. The username and the password are both root. And you can leave database host as localhost table prefix WP_. Submit. There we go. All right, sunshine. WordPress can now communicate with the database. If you got the database name wrong, or you didn't create it through the PHP MyAdmin, this screen won't happen. So go back and check again. Let's run the install. Right, site title, I'm just going to call it example. Username, I'm just going to set as admin. Password, doesn't really matter. I'll set as admin, but whatever. Put in an email address. Because you do get an email through saying, congratulations, you've installed a WordPress site. Doesn't really matter for an offline site. For an online site, obviously, this is a little bit more important. Install WordPress, dead fast. I say that. Oh, it's done. There we go. WordPress being installed. We expected more steps. Sorry to disappoint. So what I can do is I can click login and I get this screen. But what if I was coming back off a fresh version of Safari or your choice of browser? Let's just see that. We want to go to localhost:8888 /example /WP-admin. There we go. So it's wp-admin. And then you enter admin, or whatever you set up. And we're in. Okay. The website is there. Okay. If you have any questions, just post on the file. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Lord_Chancellor, and you can visit me at www.theinkslinger.co.uk. I hope this has been useful. Goodbye.